Welcome! Today I bring you another plastic leak challenge powered by violence. Join me on this one to see what spears can do, in this particular case Ottoman spearmen. The rules of this challenge are very simple. Whatever my opponent decides to do, I can't make other units than spearmen. Since I'm Ottoman, units that I can get through vizier points like maters and imam are good to go, and since I need to distract some archers, I'm also allowing myself to build rams. Hopefully they'll shot at my rams and not at my spears, because we all know how that ends. I'm also able to set military schools to train maters, but that's about it. Me and my new best friend, Banana Monkey, who is playing as the English, will clash against the name that I cannot pronounce player, from now on known as Mr. Blue. So Mr. Blue is playing as the French, and Romulo Nask, who is playing as Mongols. I'm going for the early military school build. And hopefully this time around I don't lose my first spear for no reason. I have 10 vills on food, so now is the time to start rallying to gold until I have 3 there. Then rally to wood, since I'm be building a few production buildings. In the meantime, the first spear is out, so I'll try to poke around to see which foe I'm up against. Hopefully I don't lose it like a noob. Classic violence. I'll be needing lots of food since the spear's cost is 60 food and 20 wood. In general, it's always a better choice to go for the twin minaret Madriz landmark. In this case, since I'll need a lot of food, is the go-to. Scout is lost out of nowhere. Too much APM for sure. Keck W. I spot the Mongol player Uvu, so I shall avenge the fallen scout plus the sheep that was lost with him. Remember the talk about the cost of spearmen and how good it is to build twin minaret Madriz landmark because of the above average food gathering rate? Well, I do too, and you would be as surprised as I am when I found out the landmark I placed so carefully is the wrong one. Clown Fiesta. I think the foundation layout is so similar I didn't notice it until it was too late. After setting up my second military school and production buildings, I begin to wonder where the hell are the berry bushes from the landmark, that is, until I press the landmark and realize it's the trade one. Big facepalm. In the meantime, I end up getting revenge for me fallen scout and stolen sheep, and I played some arrow catch with my spears versus the Mongol player. It's always good to chase after faster units with slower one, and getting damage while you're at it when the enemy is taking none. Future Woololo player right here, I kid you not. Back at my base, the upgrades are coming in and it is time to start massing numbers. I haven't checked on my new best friend for a while, but on my side I was the one dictating the pace. If the Mongol keeps making Magnadai, that will quickly change. But there's no going back now. Full spears challenge means full spears. I send the troops back to the middle of the map, and since I have a few production buildings and the upgrades researched, I start working towards a more favorable ratio of vills on food and wood to keep spamming vills and spears. Since I don't know how soon will the Mongol player pressure, I start adding some farms to avoid getting vills exposed. I could use the twin minaret Madriz berries now for sure. Since I had lots of wood and not enough troops to push with a ram, it seemed like a good option to maintain constant and kinda safe food production, because with Magnadai you're only safe behind walls. Or with a decent amount of archers or longbowmen, which is not my case. Rip violence. I see my new best friend in trouble and I sent my spears to his rescue as fast as I can. But, since they are one of the fastest units in the game, they get there after the battle is over. At least they got their cardio done. Since Mr. Blue left Banana Monkey alone, my thought was only one. To make amends for the trouble Mr. Blue caused to Banana Monkey. Don't worry, best friend, I'll show them the biggest spear mass they've ever seen. I keep spamming spears, the next vizier point became available and so did the third military school. Keep him coming, baby. Spear numbers start looking healthy, but that's when Mr. Blue strikes again. Even though the Mongol player didn't went for the silver tree, I'm still concerned that he is going for some sort of trade, we have no visibility over the map, and now it's the enemy who is dictating the pace. Seems like Mr. Blue was just teasing, and now I'm concerned about my side of the map, so I send my spears there waiting some sort of Mongolian aggression. Mr. Blue reaches castle, and there is no aggression to be seen on my side of the map, so this is the kind of moment when you know violence is not the question. Violence is the answer. So, I start to make rams, and I'm preparing myself to go all in, since I won't meet the requirements to age up to castle for a while. Nevertheless, I've invested in my spearman diet and workout plans, and I have 50 plus of those bad boys. Let's hope they don't have many archers on the other side. Turns out the Mongol finally decided to join the party, and they decided to tag team on my new best friend. Well, you know what time it is, don't you? Plastic League Kamikaze Ram show time. I set my rams on a suicide mission to try to damage the Mongol player while my 300 like spearman warriors go join the party at Banana Monkey's place. That was the moment I see some horsies crossing behind the woodline there, and I'm thinking to myself, it's GG. Mongol will hit my eco, and I can't do much if I lose my spears. I'm betting all my chips in the Kamikaze Rams party to distract them at the very least and try to turn the tides of the battle. I don't know why Romulo Nask didn't try to hit my base, but all I know is that all the credit goes for my Kamikaze Ram party, who performed brilliantly at distracting the Mongol player. I guess that we will never find out what really happened there. Time to make some more Kamikaze Rams, and now, I shall dictate the pace and lead this great offensive to the Mongol player backyard. He finally showed up and tried to poke at my beautiful base. Like the Giga Chad I am, I went straight to his base with my 300 spears. Ahoo! 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 Yes, this is my 300 war cry, don't mock me. Like the pro player I am, I selected all my army and set a few Mongol buildings as its destination to remove from the map, but, since Maters ride horses, they are the first to arrive. Yes, the units that are supposed to be in the backline are the first to get to the battle. Brilliant violence, brilliant. The Ram party hadn't arrived yet, and my Chad spearmen already ate a town center for lunch. Damn, they strong AF. Flexin'. It was a matter of time for the next town center to be removed from the map. Chows took over the battlefield, and eventually Mr. Blue came to the rescue of his teammate. After losing my rams, I retreated for a bit to regroup the spear mass, since Mr. Blue's archers were not a pleasant encounter. I tried to call for my new best friend for help, but he was busy minding his own business. In the meantime, I fall back even further and start rebuilding my ram mass. Typical violence, everyone has aged up to castle by now, but not me, I'm on another level. While building rams, my Chad spearman army is caught by surprise by a puny Mangadai mass plus the Khan. We both know how this ends. GG Romulo Nask. GG. And just like that, the Mongol player succumbs to the power of my 300 spearmen. Ahoo! 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 I finally queue castle to buff my army even further. It's time to show some love to Mr. Blue. Since I have no map vision and my army seems to choose a different route to hit Mr. Blue base, I assume he is walled out by now. We shall strike from the wasteland that was the Mongolian Empire once, a few minutes ago. Let's go! I added another military school and some extra production buildings. Even though my team has advantage and can take over more map, since we're up against a French player whose main weapon are knights, I chose to build farms instead of going out on the map to find food sources and tower up or wall villas. When the Chad army reaches the Mongolian wasteland, I begin to mass rams again. Mr. Blue is harassing my teammate in the middle of the map, but I keep building my ram mass, and, since I had set the Mongolian wasteland as my production rally point, a few Mr. Blue's archers are gonna eat a few spears at the time. Rookie time. How to throw away resources 101. I end up not being happy with the ram mass I have, so I build a few more. And to avenge the fallen Chads that were working out and saw a solar eclipse caused by a massive wall of arrows, here goes nothing. Ahoo! 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 I'm finally stepping in French land by myself, and a massive keep is there to greet my army. Let's rock and roll. I had pointed out in the map the location of the killer Robin Hoods in the hope that my new best friend would come and slay them. I bet he was expecting me to make some cap, but you know how I roll. If this is a challenge, then this is a challenge. So spears keep falling victims to the Robin Hoods, and my army that was doing actual fighting put in some work. I kept losing spears until I lost my advanced army, and only then I set the rally point at home. That means that for give or take 4 minutes I was feeding spears to them archers. Way to go, violence. Closer and closer to the Woololo. Time to regroup again. And even though I was wasting resources for a while now, I still managed to queue Imperial. I was hesitant to spend my Vizier points, and I completely forgot about the 2 imams 1. I even started a mosque to train them in order to get the sacred site's timing rolling. I sold some food in the market to be able to get Imperial upgrades since I have 0 vills on gold. Turns out I picked the right Dark Age landmark after all. But I had missed the timing to push to the sacred sites and gave room to Mr. Blue to advance to the middle of the map. Clown Fiesta incoming. Oh well. I did manage to secure 1 sacred site, but Mr. Blue army composition was deadly with a mix of archers and mangonels. I had my kamikaze rams ready to roll over some archers, but even those failed me this time. It was a 2 versus 1, but the 1 was holding on. I did manage to secure the 2nd sacred site, but it was for like 2 seconds. I had no army to back it up, so soon the glorious victory timer was cancelled. If the Mongol player was around now, I think defeat would have been a possibility. I'm also reconsidering the friendship I've made with Banana Monkey. I had high hopes for him, but turns out I'm the one who needs to carry. So I sent in my best stealth villager, sneaky peeky like, to finish up the wall on the 2nd sacred site, and right there under the nose of the enemy, a 10-meter concrete wall is lifted. Props to that Vill, smash that like for the Vill hero. He shall be remembered as Bob the Builder. Thanks, Bob. We go back and forth, and eventually I'm able to drive off Mr. Blue, buying precious seconds for Bob the Builder to finish his lifetime work. The Great Wall. After teasing Mr. Blue for a while, I decided to go in for the kill, and even though my army was out of kamikaze rams, I could always rely on the Giga Chad siege that my spears have. So I came up with this monstrous plan of demolishing every single house Mr. Blue has, that way he can't build army. Big brain move. The house them, they crumble like straws, and once again, MVP. Except for the free spears, of course. And that's how it's done. Ottoman spears for the win. Not even mangonels, not nothing. The new meta is here. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you see a massive spearman, you build 5 archery ranges and build the hell out of archers. If you're interested in this type of content, go check out my other videos. If you found this one amusing, I'm sure you'll like the others. I can't stay.